See the title of the video. This is going to be how to see your abs before summer. Now, summer goes all the way to September 12th. So, with that being said, this will take about 4 months or less to get you there. Now, when I made that video, I didn't expect all of you guys to watch it and really respond to it and resonate with it. So I appreciate all of the love. Like, I really do. I appreciate all the love. I didn't, expect more than 100 people to watch it and like actually interact. So I appreciate all of you guys for that. So let's get right into this video because that video brought up a lot of questions. So that's what I want to go over in this video actually. And like I say in every video, I would never give you guys advice that I haven't been through myself. So yeah, this was in 4 months, I was able to drop about 10% body fat. So that's what we're going to talk about today. It's realistic to drop about 10% body fat in 4 months if you're really aggressive. And that's what we're going to be focusing on today, like an aggressive cut where you are able to lose that fat because summer is coming up, but you also want to keep it off. So it's not going to be too aggressive. It's not going to be keto and drinking 2 gallons of water a day. It's going to be very sustainable. And I'll tell you guys exactly how I did it. So let's get right into it. All right. So before we get started, this is me, right? When I started, which was 226, this is about 190, 193. This was the first 4 months. Over here is, me getting down to 183. So that's an extra 10 pounds, probably extra 5%, 3% body fat that I dropped. But this is me at about 193, 195-ish. So this is my initial 4 months where I lost about, 33 pounds. I range between 190 and 193. So if you apply most of these methods in this video, you're going to definitely lose a lot of belly fat. You're going to lose a lot of fat. And if you're a certain body fat percentage, like for example, if you're a guy and you're about 25% body fat and you follow all of this, you get down to 15%, you'll definitely be able to see your abs at 15%. Granted that you have muscle already. If you're about 30% and you get down to 20, you may see more of your abs than you did when you're 30. But if you're about 40% body fat, it's probably going to take you longer to see your actual abs, right? So this is referring to people in a certain range, like maybe you're 18 to like 28% body fat and you want to drop 10% body fat before the summer. That's going to be more realistic. So hope you guys enjoy this and apply everything in this to actually reach your goals. God bless and enjoy. All right, so who this video is for, if you're stuck in the gym not making progress, and like I said, you want to lose fat before the summer, you want to look good in your bikini, or you want to look good in your shorts on the beach with your shirt off, you don't want to keep your shirt on, you're sick of having a lot of belly fat, you're sick of feeling sluggish, you're frustrated with the excess belly fat, you go in the gym, but you feel like you're missing something, you're not getting results, you're overweight, you're tired of feeling uncomfortable in clothes, you keep wearing baggy shirts, hoodies, things like that, you never take your shirt off at the beach, you never take your shirt off at the pool, tired of feeling lost when it comes to fat loss, then this video is for you. This is not for you if you're constantly self-sabotaging, right? If you're constantly self-sabotaging and telling yourself you can't reach your goals, if you're uncoachable, not willing to commit to at least 4 months, right? If you're just like, what, I want it done in 4 weeks, no, it's not for you, right? If you're skinny fat and you're trying to bulk up, this specific video is not for you. If you're looking for shortcuts, phentermine, Ozempic, like cheat codes, you think fat burner works, then this is not for you. If you're not willing to be consistent, you have a victim mindset, this is definitely not for you. All right. So here's the truth about losing fat quickly that no one will tell you. And this is losing fat quickly, but keeping it off. All right. So you can lose fat, obviously, without spending hours in the gym. People do not know that. They think you have to do a lot of cardio, excess cardio, and you can lose fat without doing excess cardio. You can lose fat without spending hours in the gym every single time you're in the gym, right? As you can see right here, I do not spend hours in the gym, right? And then, the nutrition, listen, this salmon tastes fire. Rice is good. These eggs are amazing and they got cheese in them. So I love my nutrition. That's why it's so easy for me to keep the fat off because it's sustainable, right? A lot of us spend too long in the gym because we don't train effectively. We don't know what to do in the gym. All right. So I got y'all. So as you can see right here, man, y'all got to see it. Let me cook, guys. Let me cook. All right. So I'm about to cook. So a lot of you guys think, oh my gosh, you can't see your abs in less than 16 weeks. If you're, like I said, 28% body fat as a man or 25% body fat, you can make a lot of progress in, 16 weeks, granted that you execute everything and you're consistent and you show up every single day and you do everything I'm about to tell you to do. All right, here we go. All right, so stage 1 is going to be the initial nutrition and programming. So how do I get my nutrition? I know a lot of you guys had that question. You can use the Harris-Benedict formula, or you can use this calorie calculator. It's going to be very similar. I prefer the Harris-Benedict formula. I feel like it's more accurate. You can just type it into Google. And then I usually kind of decrease it because for some reason these always give you way too many calories, and it's like realistically, it'll depend on your metabolism, but yeah. And then to track your actual calories, download my Fitness Pal, and whatever calories they give you in this, put them into my Fitness Pal. So for me, when I started at 226, I'm 6'1". My activity level was probably like what 4 to 5 workouts a week, but I was doing at home nursing, so it was like I wasn't very active. So I put like 4 to 5 times a week, right? So I did 2,300 calories. I split it up 40, 40, 40, or 40, 40. Dang it. 40% protein, 40% carbs, 20% fat. This is a typo. My bad, y'all. But yeah, so that's what I did. I put in my Fitness Pal. You can calculate all your food. You can use a food scale, right? Just so you get better with your portions. Food scales are super important because we underestimate the amount of protein we eat and we overestimate the amount of carbs. Okay, we underestimate the amount of carbs we eat. We overestimate the amount of protein we eat. So food scales are super important. Make sure you get your food scale. Now, if you don't feel like getting a food scale, use measuring cups and then calculate by splitting. Like for example, if you have 1 pound of beef and each, you're going to split into 2 meals, that means 8 ounces each meal, right? So when you cook the 16 ounces of beef and you cut it in half, you put one in each meal, that's 8 ounces per meal. You can do that as well. You can do the same thing for like, if you buy salmon fillets and it's like 32 ounces, you split it up into 3 meals, that'd be like 10 ounces per meal, somewhere around there, right? So yeah, calculate using my Fitness Pal is very important to calculate because if you do not track, you will not know how much you're eating. Stop guesstimating. If you guesstimate, you'll always be over because you'll always give yourself the benefit of the doubt and you're not gonna lose any fat and you're gonna be frustrated. So save yourself some time and actually track. All right, it's super important to track. All right, so should you focus on cardio? Nope. Prioritize strength training, guys. Strength training is what's gonna build the muscle and burn the fat. All right. Cardio is just extra. It could be effective. It's cool, but it's not gonna be what burns the fat and builds the muscle. So you gotta focus on strength training. And when you're cutting, maintain as much strength as possible. That ensure that you maintain your muscle mass. So for example, if you squat 315 for reps, right? And you start cutting and you feel kind of tired, you're like, oh, you know what? I'm not going to do 315 today. Let me just do 185. If you continue to do that, you're going to lose a lot of size. You're going to lose muscle. When you lose muscle, your metabolism slows down and you don't want that to happen. And also, if you do higher reps, lower weight, you're going to lose a lot of muscle, like I said, and you're going to lose a lot of size. You're not going to get that tone look you're looking for. You'll be more like skinny fat. All right. So the only cardio I did was 15-minute warm up each workout, stair stepper, level 6, or the treadmill 5 incline 3.0 speed. I just do that before I work out. I still do that to this day because it's the only cardio I pretty much do, and it gets me warmed up, gets my blood flowing and everything. And then supplements I use: pre-workout protein shakes, yohimbe, and magnesium glycinate. That's pretty much it. All right, so tracking your progress. This is one of the most important things. Let me tell you why it's important to track your progress. Listen, if you do not track your progress, you will be discouraged and you won't even notice how much progress you're making, right? Because when it comes to fat loss, especially your waist size, you look in the mirror every single day. I have this happen a lot with clients. I had it happen on my journey too. Like you look in the mirror every day. After a month, you can drop 2 inches and you won't even notice it because you look in the mirror every day. But if you're measuring every single week and after a month it says you're down 2 inches, you'll be like, dang, if I lose 2 inches, for 3 more months, that's 8 inches gone, bro. And that's like a lot of belly fat, guys. So when I started, I was like 36 to 37. And then after a month, it was down to like 34. And I was like, hey, I'll be at 32 soon. I know when I hit 33, I start seeing them abs. So I got down to 32. Then I was like, yo, I can make it to 30. And that just gave me the motivation, right? And then tracking the weight as well, that'll give you motivation, but a better idea as well. Because you can gain 2 pounds of muscle, right? You can gain 2 pounds on the scale and lose fat, right? You can go up 2 pounds on the scale and lose fat. That just means you're gaining muscle and losing fat, guys. All right. So if your waist size, like I said, if your waist size goes down by 2 inches, but the weight on the scale goes up by 2 pounds, that means you gained muscle and you lost fat. All right. So make sure you are taking mirror selfies, you're weighing yourself weekly, you're tracking your weightlifting as well, progressive overload, or at least making sure you're maintaining your strength when you're cutting. And then notice how your clothes fit. That's super important as well. You'll have a lot of people like, oh, wow, your scrubs look loose and you look leaner. And like, that'll keep you going. Like you put some, you put some jeans on and like they're starting to fall off. That'll give you motivation. All right, stage 2, slight adjustments after 46 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. All right, so obviously if I go from 226 to 210, which I did, this is like me around 210, starting to see my abs a little bit more. So my BMR is not going to be the same, guys. I'm not going to require 2,300 calories and more. obviously because I'm smaller. So I dropped them down to 2K. Most of the calories I dropped was from carbs. I think I was at like what 275 carbs. I remember the exact number. It was around 275 carbs. So I dropped it to probably like 225 or something like that. And then I was still maintaining my strength and still doing the same cardio routine, not excess cardio, still making sure I was lifting heavy as well. All right. And then after that, your final adjustment around 10 to 12, week 10 to 12, somewhere around there. So by this point, I went from 210. So with this formula, right, I went from 210. Once I dropped it to 2K, I went from 210 to about 199 to like 201. I was stuck at that range. So then I dropped it again to 1800, decreased it mostly from carbs again. And then the entire time I was doing this, I was keeping my protein, making sure that my protein was actually, pretty high in the 170 to 190 range, just to make sure that I'm maintaining as much muscle as possible. All right. And keeping my metabolism up too. Now I started to have 5K steps daily, and then I would take 3 days out of the week where I would do 10K steps, right? So this was basically my cardio. Obviously, I preferred to do it like going for a walk outside or just being more active throughout the day. It just gave me a better, I like doing steps because it gives me like more time throughout the day to do it. I don't like being on the treadmill and just doing steps straight. I like going for a walk in the park. When I go shopping, that counts too. But this will increase your metabolic rate as well, getting steps in. All right. So then I added that in just to kind of, get those last bits of fat off. And that's when I went from about 201 ish, 199 ish down to the final 193. All right. So now that you're done with the process, you can finally see your abs, guys. Now, there's going to be some other side effects you notice. All right. You're going to notice you have better posture, especially when you lose a lot of that belly fat, that lower back fat, and you're more muscular. You're going to sit up more. You're going to look better, right? You're going to look bigger even though you're leaner, because once you lose the fat, like look at that. Once you lose the fat, like I look bigger here than I do when I'm like 195, right? I'm 183 in this picture. I look bigger than when I'm 195 because I have less fat. So my waist to shoulder ratio is different, right? You're going to have increased endurance. Like I used to not, like when I started, I could not do stair stepper, and now stair stepper is like, it's cool. You don't get winded as much. You'll be more energetic throughout the day. You're really going to have a lot of energy. You're going to have a leaner face. As you can see, look at that jawline popping. All right. All right. Additional tips and points, guys. These are going to be very important. So I want you guys, if you're watching this, take notes and like really think about this, because these are things that I like learn through the process, and then things that I tell my clients as well. So while you're in a deficit, you may have days where you feel weaker in the gym. That doesn't mean significantly decrease the weight, right? Just for example, if you have a day where you can't squat as heavy as you usually do, drop the weight by like 10 and then write it down, take a note of it. And then the next week, if you're feeling better, go back up to where you were. All right. Because we want to keep it as close to where we started as possible to maintain muscle. If you have a cheat meal, don't panic, get right back on track. What the problem with people who have, like when people have cheat meals is like their mindset is like, oh my gosh, it's like an identity crisis, because they're like, oh my gosh, am I this unhealthy person? I knew I would mess up. So then they go on a spiral and they end up continually, eating cheat meals. And then eventually over time, they go right back to their old habits. If you have one cheat meal, 2 cheat meals, 3 cheat meals, right? In a 4-week period, that is not going to affect your results at all, unless you eat like 10 pizzas each cheat meal, like 10 boxes of pizza each cheat meal. But if you have 3 cheat meals in a 4-week period, that is not going to affect your results at all. You'll be fine. All right. If you mess up and you have a cheat week and you gain 10 pounds, get right back on track, because you didn't gain 10 pounds of fat. A lot of it is water weight, right? A lot of us think that, oh my God, I lost 10 pounds in 4 weeks. And then you have a cheat week and you gain 10 pounds. You're like, oh my gosh, I gained it all back. No, you gained a lot of water weight. Get right back on track. Keep the progress pushing. You didn't gain 10 pounds of fat. You probably gained like 2-3 pounds of fat, and then the rest is water weight. So, like I said, as I decrease calories, I mostly cut from carbs. I kept my protein at about 170 to 190, right? You want to keep your protein highest. That's the most essential nutrient. There's been a lot of studies where people like literally ate barely any carbs, barely any fats, but they kept their protein high. They're able to maintain majority of their muscle because of that. And protein is going to really help body composition, that toned look that you're looking for, that muscular look, that lean look, aesthetic look, protein. If you're tracking and you aren't losing weight, right, check your step count, but because like, look, if you're tracking, you're not losing weight, and that calorie calculator gives you a certain number, and you're under 1,000 steps a day, then you need to get moving more. That's like way too low. 1,000 steps a day is like way too low. But also, really look at your nutrition. A lot of times, our portion sizes are off. That's why I said make sure you track your portion sizes. A lot of times, we snack without tracking, and we're just like, oh, it's fine. It's just cashews. No, 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 no. One handful of cashews, if it's one serving, is 160 calories. But we usually fill up our hands, so it's closer to like 250 calories. That 250 calories every single day is going to add up, right? And that's going to prevent you from losing weight. And then if you're having like, you have a snack over here, you have your morning coffee, something. There's a lot of little things that add up. So you want to make sure that you're tracking literally everything. All right. Anyways, hope this helps. This was to answer a lot of the questions I got in the last video. Down below will be my newsletter. So make sure you subscribe to that. And then also I'll have my free push to pull program, workout program that you guys could do. If you guys want actual one-on-one coaching with me, then you can set up a call. That will also be in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed this video.